What's up, YouTube? It is your girl Latrina, and I am back again today with another tarot spread read. And starting off in our first row, we do get the card of bad health, and we also get the Magician. The Magician comes out in the first row, very significant, maybe to this bad health. And then we get the Nine of Swords, which has the message of muting the body camera. Someone is all in their head, even about maybe someone's fulfillment of wishes, if it's either yours or their fulfillment of wishes that's gotten them caught in their head. So much so that they may have been practicing magic on a particular situation that did put them in bad health. It says the sweeter the perfume, the more the flies gather. Solid offer. Maybe someone's in bad health about maybe you receiving a solid offer and the fulfillment of your wishes. That does put someone into bad health. And it actually, has something to do. They may be putting magic on your health, as well as it got them in bad health. They're casting magic on your health, and it got them all in their head. And something has flies gathered around it. This solid offer has flies. The perfume smells sweet, but it has flies gathering around it. And it is showing up as a solid offer. But to me, it looks like someone may be in their head about your fulfillment of wishes and you receiving some sort of solid offer. And then moving to our second row, we do have a main female coming out. And we also have the Eight of Wands, which does show, a depiction of some spell work activity being done on the situation, as well as the Magician. Someone's in their head and they're casting spells, and it may be either on a main female or by a main female. It looks like this main female is the one that's practicing this magic, and she's casting spells, and even she wants to communicate with this Eight of Wands. That's fast action. And then something is a sharp acid, and it's corroding its own container. And someone's over the limit when it comes to this spell work. Someone is doing it over the legal limit. It's performing this magic over the legal limit, and there's the Ace of Cups here, and fertility with that. So that tells me that Ace of Cups is a brand new love offer that you may be getting some, communication about this spell work, or this fast action about this toxic spell work. This toxic female that's doing spells regarding a love offer and someone's fertility. And that may have something to do with, this situation needs to be diffused. Something needs to be diffused because it has a corrosive acid attached to it. It's toxic. Something is very toxic for it to have a corrosive acid. And there's, a need to diffuse the situation or a refusal to diffuse the situation regarding someone's fertility. And then, with this bad health coming out, someone is all in their head. And I'm not sure if it's this magician or if it's this main female. Now, it could just mean that, there's two individuals that are doing something that's over the limit. And it's regarding a solid offer that puts someone into bad health and makes them want to cast magic. Maybe someone's afraid about you getting a fulfillment of wishes with a solid offer, by getting a solid offer. And it could either be this main female that's all in her head, or, that you may be receiving some fast communication. This is not, it can be a card of communication, but it can also just represent fast movement and action. It's almost similar to the Chariot, this 8 of Wands. Fast movement or action regarding a brand new passionate beginning with this Ace of Cups. Someone wants to diffuse the situation, maybe regarding this main female. See, because next we do have the Page of Wands coming out in the reverse, which, that usually depicts a young individual that's following their dreams, and maybe in the reverse, someone is not, following their passion and their creative passion. And then we got this gift coming out in the reverse, along with the Two of Wands. And we got this card that says it takes 2 blows to make a battle broke. So there is, something that's regarding a gift, and it's not a gift. This action, it may have resulted in a fight, because we have this punching glove coming out, showing that there was some type of a physical fight that went on. Someone is suffering in silence as well. And it could either be this main female or this actual magician that's been practicing spells, casting spells. We've seen that. And gathering flies. The spell word is a sweet perfume, that's drawing flies. And someone's all in their head about a fulfillment of wishes. And who, if this reading is resonating with anyone, then that means, someone is really concerned about your future, your fulfillment, your wishes being fulfilled. So much so that it puts them into bad health, and it keeps them trapped in their head about, maybe someone's fertility, Because moving on, we next have the Page of Wands. Oh, I did do this row already. Something about someone, this gift it's not a gift. Someone is broke and they're suffering in silence. They're suffering in silence, and they're even broke. Whomever this is referring to. And it could it's probably both of these individuals, this magician, the spellcaster, and this main female. Maybe she did, take a brand new beginning, a passionate beginning, and she wants to diffuse the situation regarding this spell work, possibly. Something has been toxic. She's toxic. I'm not going to say something. This lady here is toxic, that wants to diffuse the situation regarding this spell work. It's probably put her into bad health, her as well as this magician, because something that may have seemed, like a gift, it wasn't. Something was broke, meaning that they really didn't have the resources or the means that, you know, it turned out to be a reversed gift. And it's dealing with an action that was taken, with this Two of Wands coming out with it. And it did result in some type of a fight. This situation did lead to a fight, a punching fight. And it also led to someone suffering in silence as well. And then next we have the message card, as well as the Chariot comes out here in the fourth row. The Chariot. And we also have the Ten of Cups, which usually is the card of family, But this Ten of Cups is in the reverse. And it must be dealing with a family or a group, because it says a basket with two handles can be carried by two. So at least in this particular spread here, we're dealing with two individuals, this main female and this magician. And someone is even dealing with a warrant. Someone has a warrant out for their arrest. Is the message card coming with that Ten of Pentacles. And it may be someone in your family that has this warrant out for their arrest. And then the Awareness card comes out in the reverse. So that tells me someone may not even be aware about this warrant out for their arrest. But whatever the situation is talking about, when it's talking about these two individuals, there's a Chariot that comes in on this situation, which means a victory, and it means fast forward movement, And there even may be a message coming in about this family situation that was, dealt with by two individuals that were not, fully aware of some things in this situation, about maybe this gift being in the reverse. Something that they thought was going to be a reward, or, what are gifts? Gifts are something that, you look forward to receiving. You're happy about it. But it didn't turn out to be a gift. Something dealing with this Page of Wands. It didn't turn out to be a gift. Instead, it turned out just to be broke, whomever this individual is with this Page of Wands individual. There was an action taken, that did lead to a fight, some kind of a punching battle. Because you got these gloves out here, and they don't just come out for nothing. These gloves are part of delivering this message across, and it even did involve someone having to suffer in silence, because this was not a gift at all, is what this message, message either came to a family or it's regarding a family. Because see, here in our last row, we get the card of family room coming out. So that does confirm that Ten of Cups is actually speaking of a family situation, a family room situation. Regarding a Queen of Cups, we have a third character that just showed up on the spread, and she is a Queen of Cups. And it says she, this may be redealing with her religion or her beliefs, Maybe she's a religious person and it makes her narrow-minded, because it speaks of a narrow-minded person with no pulse. A pulse ox is needed. A narrow-minded person that's been juggling, and maybe she needs self-control. That's what it is. When you have a narrow mind, you might need some balance. And that Two of Pentacles does speak of balance. It speaks of trying to, juggle two coins. And there may be a need for balance when it's coming to this family room. And then we have this Queen of Cups. Maybe juggling some things regarding a family room situation. And it says love begins. I got the card of love begins. So we have a situation that is regarding the family. And you may be getting a message about this situation coming in on the Chariot, which is pretty fast. It's no delay. We got two cards of fast movement and fast action. And one of them is the Eight of Wands. That speaks of fast action. But it also speaks of spell work, being done by this family or this main female. But we already seen the Magician in the first row, so we know he's working on something. The Magician has all the tools. And whatever, fast action and maybe even communication that you receive about this brand new passionate beginning, or this emotion, it speaks of the beginning of love. But something is toxic. And I don't know, I guess it's got to be this main female that's coming out as toxic. Because we do have the fertility card. Maybe, maybe this main female may be dealing with a pregnancy or something like that.